Leo was a boy with bright eyes and a quiet voice. He lived in a busy city where everyone always seemed to have somewhere to go, someone to meet. Leo, however, felt invisible in the sea of bustling people. At school, he was the kid who sat at the back of the class, the one others seldom noticed. Leo had a secret though. He had a gift for making things. With nimble fingers, he could turn ordinary paper into delicate origami birds, or build intricate models from scraps he found. But no one knew, because Leo never told anyone. He thought his hobbies were not cool enough, and he feared being laughed at more than being ignored. One day, Leo decided he had enough of being alone. He took a deep breath and walked up to a group of kids during recess. "Can I play with you?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The kids looked at him, surprised. "Sorry, we're in the middle of a game," one said, not unkindly, before they all turned back to their play. Leo's heart sank. He walked away, his head down, and found his way to the park near his home. He sat on his favorite bench, the one that was a little away from the playground so he could watch the other kids play without having to join in. As he sat there, feeling more alone than ever, he noticed a small, scruffy dog wandering around. The dog looked as lonely as he felt. It had no collar, and it seemed to be searching for something, or someone. Without thinking, Leo called out to the dog. "Hey, little guy, are you lost?" The dog perked up and trotted over to Leo, its tail wagging. Leo reached out and patted the dog's head. "I don't have any friends either," he confessed to the dog. To his surprise, the dog sat down next to him, as if it understood and had decided to keep him company. Leo smiled, a real smile, for the first time in a long time. Leo named the dog Rusty. Rusty had a patchy coat, one ear that stood up while the other flopped, and eyes that seemed to hold 1,000 stories. They became inseparable. Every afternoon, after school, Leo would rush to the park, and there was Rusty, waiting by the bench. They explored the city together. Rusty led Leo down hidden alleys, past colorful murals, and into quiet bookshops. Leo discovered that Rusty had a knack for finding lost things. A forgotten glove, a misplaced toy, even a missing necklace. Rusty would nudge Leo toward these items, as if saying, "Look, someone needs this." Leo wondered if Rusty was more than just a dog. Maybe he was a magical companion sent to help him find something he'd lost. The warmth of friendship, perhaps. One day, as they sat on their bench, watching the sun dip below the skyline, Leo noticed a girl sitting alone on another bench. She had a sketchbook in her lap, and her eyes were fixed on the distant horizon. Leo nudged Rusty. "What do you think?" he whispered. "Should we go say hello?" Rusty wagged his tail, as if encouraging Leo. So, with a deep breath, Leo walked over to the girl. "Hi," he said, "I'm Leo." The girl looked up, surprised. Her name was Maya, and she had a shy smile that reminded Leo of a sunbeam peeking through clouds. They talked about art, about dreams, and about the way the city hummed with hidden stories. Maya showed Leo her sketches, doodles of people on buses, pigeons on windowsills, and the moon reflected in puddles. "I like capturing the ordinary," she said. "There's magic in everyday moments." Leo nodded. "I make origami birds," he confessed. "And Rusty here finds lost things." Maya's eyes sparkled. "Origami birds and a magical dog? You're my kind of friend." And just like that, Leo had a friend. Rusty wagged his tail, as if saying, "See, I told you." From then on, the three of them, Leo, Maya, and Rusty, explored the city together. They folded paper cranes, shared secrets, and laughed until their sides hurt. Maya's sketches became more vibrant, capturing the essence of their adventures. As summer turned to autumn, Leo realized that sometimes friends found you when you least expected it. Rusty had led him to Maya, and Maya had opened her heart to both of them. But there was still one mystery Leo couldn't solve. Why did Rusty always seem to know where to find lost things? And was it possible that Rusty had once been lost too? As autumn painted the city in warm hues, Leo, Maya, and Rusty formed an inseparable trio. They spent weekends exploring hidden corners, the forgotten rooftop gardens, the antique shops with creaky wooden floors, and the old bookstore where the owner knew every book by heart. Maya's sketches became more than just drawings. They were windows into their shared adventures. She captured Rusty's curious expressions, Leo's origami birds taking flight, and the way the city changed with each passing season. Her art seemed to breathe life into the ordinary, turning it into something extraordinary. One chilly evening, as they sat on their bench, sipping hot cocoa from thermos flasks, Maya leaned in and whispered, "Leo, do you ever wonder about Rusty's past?" Leo glanced at Rusty, who was gnawing on a stick nearby. "Yeah," he said, "he's more than just a stray dog, isn't he?" Maya nodded. "I've been researching lost pets in the city," she confessed. "And there's something strange. Rusty seems to appear whenever someone needs him most, like he's drawn to their loneliness." Leo furrowed his brow. "But how does he know?" Maya grinned. "Maybe he's a magical dog," she teased. "Sent to find lost souls and bring them together." Leo chuckled. "Well, if that's true, he certainly found us." They fell into a comfortable silence, watching the leaves dance in the breeze. Rusty nuzzled Leo's hand, as if saying, "I'm here for you too." One day, as they walked through the park, they stumbled upon an old man sitting on a bench. His eyes were tired, and his shoulders sagged under the weight of memories. Rusty trotted over and sat at the man's feet, looking up with those soulful eyes. Leo approached the man. "Hi," he said, "I'm Leo. This is Maya, and that's Rusty." The man smiled, his wrinkles deepening. "I'm Samuel," he replied. "I used to come here with my wife, Eleanor. We'd sit on this very bench and watch the seasons change." Maya nudged Leo. "Maybe Rusty can help," she whispered. Leo took a deep breath. "Samuel," he said, "Rusty has a talent. He finds lost things, objects, memories, even friends. Samuel's eyes widened. Friends? He asked. Leo nodded. Maybe he can help you find Eleanor, he said. Or at least bring you some comfort. Samuel patted Rusty's head. You're a special dog, he murmured. Eleanor loved dogs. And so, Rusty sat with Samuel, listening to stories of love and loss. Leo and Maya watched from a distance, their hearts swelling with hope. Maybe Rusty wasn't just a magical dog. Maybe he was a bridge between lonely hearts. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Samuel wiped away a tear. Thank you, he said, for reminding me that love never truly gets lost. And Rusty? He wagged his tail, as if saying, that's what friends are for. The days grew colder, and the leaves turned from gold to rust. Leo, Maya, and Rusty continued their adventures, each day discovering something new about each other and the city they called home. One day, as they walked through the park, they noticed a crowd gathered around the central fountain. Curious, they made their way through the people and saw a street performer juggling colorful balls in the air. The performer was skilled, but it was his radiant smile that caught everyone's attention. As the performance ended, the crowd clapped and cheered. Leo felt a tug on his sleeve and looked down to see Rusty with a red ball in his mouth. The same ball the performer had dropped during his act. Looks like Rusty has found something else that was lost, Maya said with a laugh. Leo nodded and approached the performer, Rusty at his heels. I think this belongs to you, Leo said, handing over the ball. The performer's eyes lit up. Thank you, young man. And thank you, Rusty, he said, ruffling Rusty's fur. I'm Marco, the juggler. What's your name? I'm Leo, and this is Maya, Leo replied. Marco smiled. Well, Leo and Maya, you've just made a new friend. And friends of mine get a free show. With a flourish, Marco began to juggle once more, this time with even more flair. As they watched Marco's performance, Leo realized that the world was full of potential friends. All it took was a moment of kindness to connect with them. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months. Winter arrived, blanketing the city in snow. Leo, Maya, and Rusty didn't mind the cold. They had each other, and every shared moment kept the chill at bay. One snowy evening, as they sat in their favorite cafe, warming up with hot chocolate, Maya turned to Leo. Do you think we'll always be friends? She asked. Leo looked at Rusty, who was snoozing at their feet, then back at Maya. I know we will, he said confidently. Because friends like us, we stick together. Through lost things, found things, and everything in between. Maya smiled, and outside, the snow fell softly, covering the world in a blanket of white. It was a perfect moment, a snapshot of friendship in a city that never slept. As winter tightened its grip on the city, Leo, Maya, and Rusty found warmth in their friendship. They built snowmen in the park, their laughter echoing through the frosty air. Rusty would chase snowflakes, his tail wagging like a metronome keeping time to their joy. One evening, as they walked along the frozen river, Maya pointed to a bridge adorned with twinkling lights. "Look," she said, "they call it the Friendship Bridge." Leo squinted at the lights. "Why is it called that?" Maya smiled. "Legend has it that if you cross the bridge with a true friend, your bond will last forever." Leo glanced at Rusty, who was busy inspecting a snowdrift. "Do you think we're true friends?" he asked. Maya nudged him playfully. "Of course. We've shared secrets, laughter, and even hot chocolate spills." They stepped onto the bridge, its wooden planks creaking under their boots. Rusty followed, his paws leaving tiny paw prints in the snow. "Maya," Leo said, "what's your biggest dream?" Maya looked out at the frozen river. "I want to illustrate children's books," she confessed. "Stories that make kids believe in magic." "And you, Leo?" He hesitated. "I want to share my origami birds with the world. Maybe even teach others how to fold them." As they reached the middle of the bridge, Maya held out her hand. "Deal," she said. "We'll chase our dreams together." Leo shook her hand, and Rusty barked, as if sealing their pact. From then on, they became a trio of dreamers. Maya sketched scenes from their adventures, capturing Rusty's antics and Leo's paper cranes. Leo taught Maya origami, and she folded delicate birds that danced in the winter breeze. One day, as they sat on their bench, watching the sun dip below the city skyline, Rusty nudged Leo's leg. Leo looked down to see a folded paper crane at his feet. He picked it up, and there, written in Maya's elegant script, were the words, "Friendship flies on paper wings." Leo smiled. "She's right, Rusty," he said. "Our friendship is like this crane, delicate, yet strong." Rusty wagged his tail, as if agreeing. And so, on that frost-kissed evening, under the glow of the Friendship Bridge, Leo, Maya, and Rusty made a promise. To keep chasing their dreams. To fold memories together. And to be true friends forever. The winter days in Newfield were short and the nights long, but for Leo, Maya, and Rusty, each moment was filled with the warmth of companionship. They had become a fixture in the neighborhood, known to all as the trio who could turn any dull moment into an adventure. One day, as they walked through the snow-covered park, they noticed a new sculpture near the pond. It was an abstract piece, a swirl of metal that seemed to capture the fluidity of water and the stillness of ice. Leo was fascinated by it. "It's like it's moving and not moving at the same time," he said. Maya pulled out her sketchbook, eager to capture the sculpture's essence. "It's beautiful," she said. "Art doesn't need to be complicated to be meaningful." As Maya sketched, Leo watched Rusty sniffing around the base of the sculpture. Suddenly, Rusty started digging, sending snow flying everywhere. "Rusty, what have you found?" Leo asked, curious. Rusty barked and continued to dig until he unearthed a small, frozen envelope. Leo picked it up and brushed off the snow. The envelope was sealed and addressed simply to, "A friend." "Should we open it?" Maya asked, looking over Leo's shoulder. Leo hesitated. It's meant for a friend, and aren't we friends? He reasoned. Together, they carefully opened the envelope and found a letter inside. The handwriting was neat and the words were simple, yet they held a depth of loneliness. To whoever finds this, I left this city long ago, but I left behind a piece of my heart. It's in the laughter of friends, the crunch of snow underfoot, and the silent wishes made on shooting stars. If you're reading this, maybe you're a little lonely too. Just know that friendship can be found in the most unexpected places. Keep this letter, pass it on, or leave it for someone else to find. Whatever you choose, remember that no one is truly alone. With hope, a friend, Leo, Maya, and Rusty stood in silence, the letter in their hands. It was a message from the past, but it felt like it was meant for them. We should keep it, Maya said finally. And maybe one day, we'll add our own message and pass it on. Leo nodded. It's like we're part of a bigger story, he said. Rusty barked in agreement, and they tucked the letter back into the envelope, deciding to keep it safe until the right moment came to share it with another lonely soul. As the snow melted and spring tiptoed into Newfield, Leo, Maya, and Rusty continued their adventures. They kept the letter safe, tucked away in a drawer, waiting for the right moment to pass it on. One sunny afternoon, as they sat on their bench in the park, watching the cherry blossoms bloom, Maya turned to Leo. You know, she said, I think we've found something even more magical than the friendship bridge. Leo raised an eyebrow. What's that? Each other, Maya replied. Our friendship. It's like a bridge that connects hearts. Rusty barked, as if agreeing. He had become more than just a dog. He was the thread that wove their stories together. And so, they continued their journey, Leo folding paper cranes, Maya sketching memories, and Rusty chasing after lost things. They laughed, they dreamed, and they held each other up when life felt heavy. One day, as they walked along the river, they noticed a young girl sitting on a bench, tears in her eyes. She clutched a crumpled letter, the same letter they had found months ago. Leo approached her. Are you okay? He asked. The girl looked up, her eyes wide. I'm lonely, she whispered. I miss my grandma. Maya nudged Leo. Maybe Rusty can help, she said. Leo nodded. What's your grandma's name? Eleanor, the girl replied. Rusty barked, as if saying, I remember. They handed the girl the letter, the same one that had once comforted Samuel. The girl read it, tears streaming down her face. Thank you, she said. I'll keep it safe. And so, the legacy of the letter continued. Leo, Maya, and Rusty watched as the girl walked away, the paper crane tucked in her pocket. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the city, Leo realized that sometimes, the most magical things were the simplest, a folded crane, a shared secret, and a friend who understood your heart. And so, dear reader, we leave our trio, Leo, Maya, and Rusty, embracing the seasons, the memories, and the promise of forever friendship.